Hi guys, just a quick urban orchard update. Just thought I would show you some of the growth that the plum and apple trees have put on so far this year. This is one of the plum trees. As you can tell, well, maybe you can't tell, this is probably the main branch it put on. Went out a couple feet here. And it's put on several other branches that are at least 12 inches long, 15 inches long. Some of them are up to 2 feet long. Pretty good growth. Once the leaves die back, I'll actually get out the clippers and I'll trim them back to 4 or 5 branches that look strong, and really let the plant put its energy into that the following year. I've been following Stephen Hayes from Stephen Hayes UK, who he's just a hobbyist who has an apple orchard and pears and plums that he grows, and he has some pruning tips. So I've been kind of following his videos, and I'll be using that this winter to trim up some of the plants. Let me carry you over here to the other one. This is the other plum. This is the one that actually has not grown very much at all. If you look at that, most everything, that's the biggest growth right there, and that's the length of my hand. That's maybe 7, 8 inches, 9 inches. And what I'll actually be doing is to get a center, to get a open center on it, is I'll be cutting off about the top half of this plant and then letting it put most of its energy into the branches that are lower, because I want it to split down here versus up here, so that way I get a more open canopy, which will help cut down, according to Stephen, it'll help cut down on some of the problems that come along with having an orchard and some of the fruit plants. Over here we have one of the apple trees. Now I'm going for an open center. I just kind of talked about it a few seconds ago on the other video, and as you can see, this would not be an open center. This would be one of these branches would be great for a central leader type design for an apple tree, but since I don't really want that, I'll actually be cutting out that main central branch. What I'm looking for is some of these other branches, like this long one here that's coming out of the side. I'll use that. I'll also use this one here. And as they get laden with fruit, they will bend down and they'll branch out a little bit further. But I don't want the central leader, so I'll be cutting that out along with a lot of the other little branches that are stubs. And then let me take you over to the last apple tree real quick. Here's the last apple tree. Let me go over here and show you. Now the beds, I've been transitioning to fall, so I've been tearing a bunch of plants out. There were cucumbers and stuff here, but this has to be about my best example of branching out. The tree has grown, there must be 10 or 15 branches there that have all grown 2 feet or 2.5 feet. And I'll be pruning that back as well to 3 or 4 branches, getting rid of some of the underlaying branches, and picking, you know, the strongest branches for future growth. And you know, one thing I have been really impressed with, now this is the first year I've had them, so I don't know if the first year that some of the bugs haven't found them yet, but these apple varieties that I got from Stark Brothers were supposed to be disease and pest resistant, which was supposed to allow them to not have quite as much herbicide and pesticide applied to them. So far I couldn't be happier. The leaves for the most part look really good. The first plum tree that I showed you had a little bit of insect damage, and there's a few leaves in here that have some insect damage. There's one, but for the most part they all look really good, and I don't know if that's part of the fact of how they were bred from Stark Brothers, or if it's just luck of having the tree the first year. But I'll be watching it and we'll see how it develops. But that's just a little bit of an update on the urban orchard. Talk to you later.